Chiclets fans, Biz here. We want you to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And just maybe, if enough of you subscribe, we'll put out more original content.
I think now in the game, the worst time to get traded is as like a tweener, as a non-established NHL guy, but not still a prospect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you're over 25 when you've gone
like
from prospect to suspect. And
kind of, yeah. So when I got traded from Florida to Calgary, I got traded at the deadline, went right into Calgary, played probably 10 of 40 games to end the season. Then going into that off season, I was restricted, didn't have a lot of rights, signed a shitty contract.
With Calgary.
That's why you need to hire a good agent. Anyway, so signed a shitty contract I wasn't comfortable with. They signed a couple guys in free agency, and I kind of knew that going into camp, like,
I'm screwed.
I was like, this is not going to be good. But I'm like, all right.
Wait, time out. All right, just eat the cookie for fuck's sake. Can you guys hear that?
It's unbelievable.
Just eat the cookie.
I'm good.
You good? Okay.
Yeah.
Go back.
Right.
Sorry, Shazzy.
So I signed the contract, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have a positive attitude. This is going to be a great year. I'll just fucking go in, camp, play hard, whatever.
I'm making this team.
I'm making this team.
This
team. It's like I'm going to go in 3 weeks early because at that time, like, you know what I mean? Go in early and show that, like, I'm in shape, all this stuff.
Free ice.
Yeah, whatever. No, I didn't care about that, but like you. But anyway, so my wife and I load up this car, which at the time, like, right after I had signed in Florida, played, 40, 50 games in the NHL. I bought this stupid, like, Audi S, whatever. So
Quattro.
So we're driving from Denver to Calgary. My wife and I, full truck, everything's loaded. I'm like, I'm going to be there for the whole year. I'm going in 3 weeks early, ready to go.
She's already checking out apartments in Abbotsford.
Stockton is where it was, okay? So she's like, you know what, like supporting me, like, yeah, this is going to be great. Like, just put your best foot forward, whatever happens, happens. Middle of Montana, there's no one on the road. And the year before, I lived in a hotel in Florida. And I didn't know this at the time, but it's illegal to drive without insurance in Montana. So
I didn't think you could drive anywhere without insurance.
But I think they arrest you in Montana, so I don't know this at the time. So I'm driving through Montana, and my wife's like, there's no one on the road. She's like, you need to slow down. I'm probably going 110, probably.
So that's moving, but in the middle of the open road, it's like...
middle of the open road, but it's like, whatever. So
what time of the day is this?
That's fucking
It's probably
fast.
at 3 or 4 p.m.
So that's buzzing, but if you don't see a car, it is.
No, I don't
but
see a
that's
car.
buzzing.
30
That's
miles
buzzing.
over
Okay,
the
so
speed
anyway,
limit
so
when it's-
she's like
No,
yelling
that's
at
like 40.
she's yelling at me to slow down. I actually do slow down to like 100, probably. So now I'm 20 over. Next thing you know, this undercover truck pulls out. Like, you hear the sirens going. At the time, I'm like, the first thing that goes through my head is like, okay, I'm gonna get a big ticket.
Yeah,
That's
expensive.
it. So pull over, guy comes, takes my license, whatever, but he starts like taking a long time. So then finally he comes back to the car. He's like, sir, please step out of the car. And at first I'm like, okay, the car's full. He wants to look around, whatever. So I step out of the car. He's like, sir, you're under arrest. Throws me up against the car, handcuffs and everything. This is the middle of Montana, right? And I'm like, first I'm like, what did I do? Like, you know what I mean? I have no idea. My wife starts asking him what I did, and he looks at my wife was just my girlfriend at the time, and she looks and he goes, I don't know, we had an arrest warrant out for him, maybe didn't pay child support. And I have no kids at the time, right? I have no kids at the
Drew, you want to tell me something?
Like this, so I go, I don't have any kids. So anyway, so he brings me a thing, but he still won't tell me why, like, I'm going to jail.
You're in the back of the cop car?
So yes, but the cop car doesn't even have a back. So he's in a pickup truck, an undercover pickup truck. So I'm sitting there handcuffed like this in a pickup truck. So I start I'm like,
shotgun?
Where? Yeah, shotgun. I go, where's the jail? 70 miles.
Oh my
back.
No, dude.
Back the other direction. So the best thing about this is I'm in a light blue Lululemon hoodie. So I'm sitting there in a light blue Lululemon hoodie like this, handcuffed in the front of the car. So now my wife has to drive my car back to the jail. So she gets out from the passenger seat, walks around, and I would have bet every dollar I've ever made, she would have been bawling her eyes out. She gets out of the car, walks around, and looks at me like this, double thumbs up like this. And then looking back, she was like, I thought you were going to like snap on the policeman. So I tried to make sure everything was okay. So 70 miles, here we go. This is in the middle of an 18-hour drive.
Hey, music playing or no?
Well, he still wouldn't tell me, though. He didn't know. The cop who arrested me didn't know why I was being arrested. He just knew that there was an arrest warrant out for my arrest. So in the middle of the drive, the radio starts going off. And it's like, yeah, we just arrested 20 meth heads. They're going crazy in the jail.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, my God.
So now I'm like...
You're listening to this?
Yeah, now I'm having a panic attack because I'm like, dude, so I look at the guy and I'm like trying to be kind of cool about it. I'm like, so do I go in Gen Pop or I go, how does this work in there? And in my head, so then it starts, I'm like thinking like, if I had to beat up like one of these guys, like, could I beat up a bunch of them or whatever? He's like, no, we'll give you your own cell. You'll be fine. So I go in, take photos in my light blue Lululemon hoodie, smiling like this. Like, I didn't know what to do. They're like, 1, 2, 3. So I smiled like that. She ended up bailing me out. And it turns out that the year before I lived in a hotel because I was up and down so much. I got my credit card stolen. So I got a new credit card. And my car insurance in Florida was just on auto pay. So it just was never paid. So I was driving without.
Oh, because when you got the new card.
Because when I got the new card, it was without insurance. And I didn't know. So she had to bail me out with cash.
How long did you have to sit in there until she bailed you out, or she could do it right away?
Probably an hour, 90 minutes.
You gotta talk closer to the mic.
So probably 90 minutes. And so then she had to bail me out. And the worst part about the whole thing was she had to drive the rest of the road trip.
Oh, God.
So she had to drive 8 hours. So the worst part about getting arrested
going 40.
was her driving the whole time.
and you snoring in the front seat.
Ended up having to write a letter and stuff like that. And they ended up dropping everything because of what happened or whatever. But I should have known right then. Then it was my worst season of hockey ever.
Oh, yeah, that's a sign.
But I should have known. Like, that was a sign right then. I should have went to Russia that day. I should have called someone and been like.
You could have just paid the cop.
Yeah, I could
have
paid the cop and I would have been like, okay, this is not going to work out. Ended up going to Stockton. That's when I played biz.
I'm surprised when you got to the border of Canada, did they just notice that you'd just been arrested?
Well, I didn't have my license. So, like, I wasn't driving. I was just sitting as the passenger, hand my passport, and that was it. But, yeah, it was like that was probably – and that was kind of when my career in North America went downhill.
Did you get to see the crackheads in the other cell?
No, so I never saw them. And because I got everything dropped because of what happened, I never got – everyone's like, oh, did you get the photos? And I never got any photos.
Oh, I was going to ask you if we
maybe we have a listener in Montana police force that could find Drew Short mugshot.
What the fuck?